Okay, everyone, as we continue to settle in for your Friday morning starts, thank you for taking a check into this live stream. Your first alert forecast update is now. We are going to be taking you into what will be, more of this weather story we're working to unravel as we have to first alert you forward. And this is going to be something where I actually have to give you not necessarily a live update. Technically, it was already live during our sunrise shows, but we are going to talk about a first alert weather day as we get into Saturday now. We are just reaching the threshold from at least what I've looked over this morning, from what I've read from the National Weather Service. We are working our way up to a little bit more storm potential tomorrow, the way our low pressure system is now timing out and a cold front is swinging through. One thing that's been really consistent with this forecast as we've gone at it, it's not going to be still widespread rain. It's now still going to be scattered. It's just more storm productivity is possible. That's the main change. That's what I want to make sure you're prepared for as we get you ready for this upcoming weekend. So let's see what you got as I take you towards the graphics. Boom, here we go. And here's that severe risk. And if you can see on whatever device you're watching on right now, that very fine line between the yellow and the green, just getting towards Richland and Lexington counties, the north of both counties. So as that has worked to settle in, we've really seen and gone throughout this portion of just really the week where it was beautiful on Thursday. Now we're transitioning back to clouds today. More of that moisture and instability now tries to build in for Saturday. So yes, it is going to be a very fine line, but we are meeting that severe weather risk for a first alert weather day. So had to make that call for the morning. Let's see how this is all going to be timing out now as we look forward. Quick check on this morning. We've just seen clouds pretty much roll overhead now. We did see some gorgeous sunrises out there. It was a spectacular start. Really good color. And that happens a lot of the time when clouds are just about increasing by the time the sun is rising up after a very clear night. And that's basically how things mostly panned out. So we see this. A lot of these temperatures yet again are going to be in the mid 60s. We top out in the low 80s today. And it's very interesting. A lot of weather sensors out around the region are still indicating it is just a sunny morning because the way the cloud layer is, it's still very thin right now. So as UV rays make their way through and they're actually hitting these weather sensors, just an interesting way that they work. They're actually thinking, oh yeah, the UV rays are getting through. It's got to be sunny out, right? Because obviously these sensors do not have eyes. They can only do so much sometimes depending on how much moisture is up in the atmosphere. So, those are even in air in real time. As we go on to a late day shower, we will be seeing that potential of moisture finally getting back at us. We only had a break yesterday, and I talked about it yesterday during our sunrise shows. It was going to be 3 very different days. Yesterday, dry and sunny, of course. Today, milder morning, cloudier now into the day, and a few showers late, but Saturday is where we really need to watch. That's why I have that middle tidbit there lit up in red. The unsettled weather we have into this weekend. Sunday, not as bad, at least in terms of what we see with storm threats dipping back, but we still have to talk about the weekend overall before we get back to more of a calm weather pattern. As we go into that future radar, wind speeds are not going to be impressive today. Very calm with the winds for the most part because we are on the very far outskirts of this area of low pressure. Not too much happening yet. A couple showers will trickle their way throughout the day. It's going to be very much lighter and nuisance rain, but will still be there at times. That's why I've been going with that 30% chance of showers. As we have kept on with that and go on a little bit further into this forecast, even into the evening hours, I'm thinking it's going to be filled in a little bit more than this. It's trying to bring us a little bit of dryness, at least the way that the Futurecast is trying to decipher this and break it down. But just as I've watched things in real time, I would anticipate not too much clearing and a few more showers than this is showing by 10, 11 o'clock. So just thinking about that as we go on forward. Into Saturday now, we start out this morning, we roll that ball forward, okay, starting out looking okay, relatively dry, perhaps a little bit of patchy drizzle, but then we go to the afternoon, 3 to 4 p.m. Peak heating times. We got low 80s that will likely find their way through. That's still going to be giving us enough lift, instability to mix with what is happening now with the moisture now infused into our atmosphere. A cold front actually working to track through South Carolina because that's just typically how low pressure systems work. You get that to move through and then a cold front to try and sweep it away. The way things likely time out now, we can see some scattered showers and some isolated storms working their way through South Carolina. What I've been more convinced about, and if you could see it on the graphic now, is more that heavy rain. This has been something I do agree with the models with, and that's down towards the low country, really in between Orangeburg and Charleston almost. We should be getting a bit more of consistent rain down that way, the way this is tracking with the low. However, On the tail edge of it, there's still going to be a good amount of moisture content available in our atmosphere, and as a cold front rolls through, even though the Futurecast might not do the best job picking up on it, we can still end up getting areas like Winnsboro, Batesburg, Leesville, Saluda, still seeing some activity from storms. So got to watch out for that as we go on into our Saturday afternoon and evening. And then as we go into Sunday, the front drops down. So you will notice wind speeds, they'll start to pick up the pace a little bit and will be out of a northerly direction a bit more. So we still start the morning out mild in the upper 60s, but even as the sun tries to fight through in some little instances into the day, we are likely only going to be getting to the mid and upper 70s. I wouldn't be surprised we only end up closer to 75. Things are trying to trend that way. I still went 77 today, but Sunday could easily end up being just a very much, at least for this time of the year, a little cooler of a day with some scattered showers and those clouds. As we build on late into it, we should see that cloud layer thin, and then we can say hello to more views like this, sunshine out and about. For my NASCAR fans out there, actually I got this photo when I was down in Darlington for the Goodyear 400, and it was so cool seeing that race for the first time. Haven't been to Darlington yet, been to a couple NASCAR races, but honestly, very historic track, and it was so nice. The sunshine was out. National NASCAR Day is what it is, and that's why I'm actually showing this picture. Fun fact if you didn't know. As we get into the PM shower potential, still just going to be with overall mainly cloudy skies today. Not too crazy with the showers, just more nuisance, spotty rain. A little bit more filled in later in the day. Now, that all is just going to be the little tiny appetizer before we actually see a bit more rain fill in and then that storm potential as we look to Saturday. That is the day to watch. First alert weather day, 83 degrees. You know, we're seeing temperatures increasing just enough to see a bit more instability out there. So all those ingredients will be in play. Everything looked to be a little bit more down towards the low country earlier this week, which is why we weren't going with the first alert weather day just yet. But I'm seeing just enough, and of course in agreement with the National Weather Service, to have that posted for Saturday to make sure everyone is a little bit more weather aware. Sunday, we were a little cooler with those isolated to a little bit more scattered showers late in the day filled in. Highs around the mid 70s likely, and then back to high pressure and some warming trends as we look towards next week. So keep that WIS First Alert Weather app handy this weekend. I can't stress it enough, and I will continue to always say it. There's no better way to go about storms. And of course, we appreciate when you always check in to make sure you're weather aware down the road, whether it be hours or days in advance. But to track things through in real time, just to have that in the palm of your hand or in your pocket, it's useful. Of course, as long as you're getting service. But we always like to do our best to keep you updated wherever you are. Thanks again for checking in your First Alert Forecast update. If you're looking for more news, what's new this morning? Got some local and potentially national news updates to come your way. That is a little bit closer to 9 o'clock on this live stream. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday, everyone. At least the first half of this day is dry, but please be mindful as that weekend rounds out.